I make a point of messaging anybody I know who is going to become a father or has just become a father, because same thing, I didn't have
Anyone to.
anyone, and I've spoken about this briefly in the show before, where I couldn't find any resource for me to learn from as a father, because all our dads did things, but I feel that we live in a very different world now, and you not just have the ability, you are actually a lot more hands on in many aspects, and you want to also function that way. And so I do that. I take them out for like, let's go for lunch, let's go have a cup of coffee, let's go out have a drink. This is what's going to happen. This is what your job's going to be. Is my general thing for the last almost 5.5 years,
Oh, wow.
because I feel that it is it's it's very tough to be a mother. I can
It
see
is.
that.
It is.
I don't think any father can come close to the amount of genuine effort, focus, and everything else that mothers have to do. But it's also very tough to be a dad, because you don't know what your. Because let's be honest, did you know what your role was for 6 months?
Yeah,
You're like,
I figured what my role was. My role was to just be there for my partner because she was going through multitudes of emotions. Just be there for her. And she was supporting the baby. I was there for
and change
her.
diapers.
And change diapers, yeah.
Now, continuous potty duty was
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
Still
And burp him.
continuous. And burp.
Yeah.
But it's that it's and also emotionally you don't know what you're going through, because you don't feel, I mean, I don't, for me it's been different with both of my kids. You building a connection with your kid also becomes a process. It's not an instant process.
Which with the
Initially,
mother it is.
it's instant. There's not even a second gap there. It took me time to understand what my role was, secondly what is my relationship with this new human being who I'm just trying to make sure they're alive. For 6 months,
You're
just make
right.
sure they're
Yeah.
alive. That's all you're doing. And after that, they obviously start emoting and everything happens. But it's very unique to be a father in today's world. I feel I think we're a generation of very unique fathers, because we're almost like the first generation of a different kind
Of a
of
different kind of.
fatherhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you look at fatherhood?
It's the best thing which has happened to Janki and I, to me. Uh, it's like suddenly no other judgment in the world matters, no amount of success, but also everything matters a little bit more. Like I remember I have this thing, post the 3 years of having no work and then finding work and like very value creating work and having won lots of laurels. Uh, I stopped caring about awards. It became second nature. For the last show I did before this, Ishbaz, I remember winning what 34 Best Actor awards across 3 years, India, London, everywhere. Became a point where I genuinely stopped caring, and I felt it also showed in the kind of interviews I gave after that and how I received it. I knew it mattered for my parents. It was for them. It meant like sons achieved. I think post Sufi and post the pandemic, everything is, oh my god, it is. It's not just mine. It will. Somebody is going to look at this and probably be proud of it. I remember the first award I got for Bade Achhe was again the same award function, but this last year, which I again won a Best Actor at, and I was almost in. I could have broken down. And it's not that I haven't won this many times before. It's just meant so much more. And I didn't know where that emotion came from. It wasn't that I was ready for it. I was ready with the speech. I wasn't ready with emotion. It just came rushing in. Uh, Material success doesn't define me. I've also reached a place where I'm like, okay, how much money do you need? What do you guard more now? I want to be happy, man. I want to enjoy this cup of coffee. I don't know if this is middle age hitting, but I think parenthood has a lot to do with it. And just like he's one person, like my greatest struggle in life right now is to be fully present in the moment, and I want to do that. I want to do that. With him, it's not a struggle at all. I can just see him do nothing, and I'm there with him. And I want to be able to use it for every area of my life with my partner at work, uh, in a conversation with my driver. Why should be half-assed? Why should be more like, कैसा है छुट्टी ठीक रही बढ़िया है you know sometimes it will go into a bit of posturing, boss is asking ठीक है ना come, because you've seen people do that. I want to break those things down after Sufi. I want to be authentic. Like I also feel authentic is so overused. Like
Yeah, oh my
sometimes,
God. Yeah.
like how much is authentic, how much is performance authentic. But I just want to be how I am with him, because I am not like that with anybody else. I'm not like that with myself. I feel there is still a lot of truth I don't tell myself or guard myself, but with him it's not, because he sees through. So it's changed me in a lot of ways, yeah. And I've also become a bit of a. It's okay to say no to things. I never knew how to say no to things. I mean, I knew professionally I didn't want to do this. I knew that. I had clarity to refuse money or whatever came with it. I didn't know how to say no to someone asking for your time, because I said, "वो तो देना चाहिए ना." Now I very respectfully say it, and I assume the person will understand. And if they don't, that I don't. It's okay.
I feel also becoming a parent changes, like, it rewires you emotionally, right? Like, I wasn't a person who would express
Yeah.
emotions, like, not person who will cry or anything ever. Now I'm genuinely very, like I can sit and I think parents do this one creepy thing, and I understand it.
Which
And I
is?
call it creepy, is you watch your kids sleep.
Oh my God! It's not. It's the best thing in
You
the
stand
world.
there and you watch this person sleeping, and you are going about it like, and you're like, I'm just imagining someone wake up and seeing this one person staring down at them. Can't help it. It's just, I don't know what it is about. And I have these conversations with both of my parents, saying, I get you guys more now than I ever did after I became a parent. I understand some of the things that I had issues with. Um, and but I still say I would do things differently, and you would do things differently.
Yeah.
With different people.
Yeah.
But I feel like I understand my parents a lot more today than I did when before we had
Absolutely.
Leia. Or,
Would you be emotionally vulnerable in front of your kids?
I make it a point to be.
Yeah. Is it hard?
So my genuine tendency is that if I'm emotionally vulnerable, I am that person who'll crack a bad joke and try to get out of it.
Correct. Correct.
So for me, I'm at that point when the bad joke still comes there, but I try to hold off on
amazing.
not continuing the
Amazing.
conversation. So I will still do that. Like, but the one thing we don't guard, I mean, Leia's obviously older, so she, for her it's more. And son's just 6 months old, so is that they have to see all sides of their parents. You don't only show, like, you don't have conversations behind a door away from your kids. They're seeing us argue, they see us argue. They see us happy, see us happy. They have to be okay to see their parents hug and kiss each other. Something which I realize that you don't necessarily see as much. Like, my parents are pretty open about that stuff in general. So I don't think I face that. But I think generally, societally, you always feel like these are things kids can see, these are things kids can't see.
Yeah.
But for me, it's a lot more about being emotionally there without making it about me, which is the struggle. I very easily can make it about me and not about
You're right.
my partner or my kids.
Would you ever discuss a bad day at work or anywhere with her?
If she understands it, I do.
I'm sure she senses it.
Sometimes. So my daughter's very like me. So she can be very. So I understand her more than anybody else, because she has a lot of my. I never say bad traits. She has some of my slightly like weird traits, right? So she and I can both easily zone out in the middle of a conversation. She and I can be very focused on what we want to do and not necessarily focus on what others need. And so it has to be an almost mental rewiring to figure out what everybody else needs. But thankfully, she has a fair bit of puja as well. So she's gotten a bit of. I feel Leia's a lot stronger than I am, because she can actually do things and she's a lot more focused. She's better at math, which is definitely not me. No chance in life. But it's that. How about you?
I want to be. So I think one thing I want to definitely build on is I just don't want to be emotional in front of him. I want to be vulnerable in front of him. I feel I never saw that as a child, like around not just my father, my men around me in general. Like no one ever said, you failed at work, or you didn't get a business deal. You never discussed it because it was your job to take care of it.
And you have to seem like you're
in control, which also kind of brought insecurity and all of that, right? And subconsciously you've picked those up, and like I've become a person who will. Good news I'd share with all of you. Stuff which is to be solved, I will take it head on. And I now want to change that after Sufi. It's been a conversation Janki and I have been having for a while, and it's very hard for me to do it. I feel it's my problem to solve, and it's not hers. I don't want her to share it. I want to be able to share it with him that I failed. I did a terrible job at work today. The director called me out. I hope that doesn't happen. But I hope a bad day at work, I can share and say, Dada failed. My father didn't do that with me. No one around me I saw do that with me. But I think because of that, I've become, in a way, the same person. And I don't want to be that with him because I want him to grow up to be absolutely emotionally agile and vulnerable. It's okay to cry. And it's not only, it's cool to cry if you're watching a film, but you should also be able to cry if you're not feeling good about something. And I find that hard to do in front of people. And I want to change that with him.
Yeah. I can't cry in front of people either.
I want to change that.
Yeah. Did that make you rethink things? If it did, make sure you check out the full episode.